Hi, Noona. Who did I marry? Woman ran background check on husband on their wedding night? On their wedding night. When, hi, tribe. How you doing? How you doing? Hope your day well, you feel slow. It's your boy, Tribe Louie. When do y'all run background checks on y'all significant others? Do y'all run background checks on y'all significant others? I don't know. I had a significant other ran a background check on me. Most you'll find is probably like a stab charge. I'm playing, literally playing. You won't find that charge. I was gonna say I've never stabbed anybody, but so what did it like? When do y'all run background checks? Like, do y'all run background checks? Do I have anything else I want to say? I know exactly what I want to say. Drink your nah, because I feel like the tribe is trying me with this water strike bullshit, bro. Listen. Like, just drink it. I go make me break my camera lens again. Don't do that. Drink your water, or we're not getting a video. Like, you wouldn't. I actually don't know if I can do that.
You guys know that the characters from Marry My Husband have been living rent-free in my head. But I need to know what's been living rent-free in your head. Like, what are you guys streaming these days? What are you guys listening to these days? I need music recommendations for when I'm working out or when I'm doing
I've
things.
learned how to actually make a bomb, big sis.
Things or
Are
going
you proud of me?
places. Okay, hear me out. I think it's wild how much music can affect your mood. Like,
Facts.
if you pick the right song, it could literally change your entire mood, your day,
Nitroglycerin.
practically your whole life. But did you know that with
Hydrogen.
Lilo, music can also improve your underground life, your under the sheets life, your undercover, your bedroom life, okay? I don't know how Lilo came up with this, but they ate. Lilo's brand new adult device has just found a way to combine music with the latest technology for the ultimate undercover experience. They're literally combining your streaming sessions with your steamy sessions. If you guys don't know, Lilo is one of my favorite companies that I've been obsessed with for years now, and they've been working with me for years, working in me, working on me.
What?
And they just launched their brand new buzzing device, the Series 3. Series 3 is nothing like
You
I've
and my
experienced
actual
before.
fixes talk
I'm
too
someone who
comfortably
loves
about
playing
this shit.
music to enhance the mood. The right music can really take the experience to a whole new level. But I honestly never would have thought to somehow combine music and pleasure into a singular device that is a force to be reckoned with. Like, how did they even? I cannot miss this. Sense. The Series 3 has 2 built-in microphones to offer precise sound recognition and noise cancellation to provide real-time sound-activated stimulation. What that means is basically the device picks up whatever sound you play and times the pulsing to that, which, by the way, you've got 10 different buzz settings to choose from, and having 2 buttons for back and forth, makes it super easy to navigate the settings so you can truly fine-tune your experience to whatever you want it to be.
Did you get that? That was a pun.
Now, I know what you're thinking at this point. You're going to arrive to a lot of cool music, and that is indeed what this music product has been designed for, okay? All of those songs, all of those artists, everything, because Lilo is bringing the whole new meaning to the concept of a song high note. Oh, yeah. So, here are the best parts. Series 3 is made with
Hold on! Why isn't the browser loading? This is for scientific purposes. So this works with music? I don't even get it. I actually don't get it. Like, prostate massagers. Like prostate exam? Oh, I don't know what's going on. Oh, big sis, your explanation confused me, and then I saw what you were talking about, and I'm confused times 30. Like, ooh, okay.
Everything, because Lilo is bringing the whole new meaning to the
So it just
concept
vibrates to the beat,
of a
essentially.
song high note. Oh, yeah. So, here are the best parts. Series 3 is made with premium silicone that is so soft to touch. It's certified body safe, made to the highest standard of safety. It's 100% waterproof, rechargeable, and has a user time of up to 90 minutes. Guys, Lilo knows what they're doing. Trust me. So if you guys want to put the steam in stream... Someone needs to stop me right now. And you want to orchestrate a perfect a perfect beat. You want to find your rhythm using sound sense technology in harmony with your favorite playlist, with your favorite person, or by yourself. Who cares? You could produce a whole song by yourself. Lilo Siri 3. Check it out with the link in the description. That's Lilo Siri 3. Check it out with the link in the description. And thank you, Lilo, for sponsoring today's video.
Lilo,
let's get into it.
Sponsor.
Who the F did she marry? But you know what's crazy? And I don't know if it's because I'm just so obsessed with marrying my husband right now, but I see the connection.
What is
I
marry
feel
my
like she's
husband?
Gia. I feel like this is
Ow.
Michael, and she's gotten away, and now she just needs to find her Richard. And I'm rooting for her. I'm rooting for her as much as I'm rooting for Gia. If you guys have no idea what's going on, there
Right.
is a 52-part, 10-hour long. It's really long. It's like 10-hour long TikTok series. It's a fucking docu-series, y'all.
Why
about
so long?
Reesa. It's a woman named Reesa. She lives in Atlanta, Georgia. And listen, this story, is primarily taken from Reesa's 52-part TikTok series. We are not on any individual side.
I have to say that for unbiased purposes.
But I think it's a lie because I'm really rooting for Reesa. Like, you have no idea. Like, I really like her. I'm attached to her. I've watched so many videos of her, okay? But we are going to speak from the POV of Reesa. I think a lot of other people have come up to make TikToks about that are somewhat involved are making TikToks. This is like going crazy. I think they're all gonna land a Netflix deal. We will be bringing up other family members who have spoken out about their own stories in part 2. This is part 1. We're gonna have a part 2 because like I said,
There's a part-
we're gonna have a part 20 just like marry my husband. No, I'm just kidding. But there is some content warnings. There are some very slight mentions of miscarriages within this story. So with that being said, I'm just gonna jump you right into the middle of this story. It's about a woman who finds the love of her life, and she sees all these red flags as they start dating. They get married. They're moving in together. They're shopping for houses. They're shopping for cars. At one point, she's pregnant. It's a lot going on. And then everything gets exposed in the most unhinged way. She hired a private investigator. She did a background check the day of the wedding.
That's juicy.
Yeah, so
Here's my thing about Cheesecake Factory. I think Cheesecake Factory is
Cheese?
a cursed first date location. You cannot convince me otherwise. Cheesecake Factory is the type of place that you go on a date after you've been dating someone for a while. I think it's like an 8th or 9th date type of place.
The fact that the Cheesecake Factory isn't a factory ran by cheesecakes, that made more sense in my head. Hold on. I just feel like it's not cheesecake oriented enough, bro. They're like serving other stuff, but you name yourself the Cheesecake Factory. Why do you have burgers on the menu? That's just the me thing. And you know, that's not gonna stop me from going there, but I'm always gonna look at them a little sideways like, not enough cheesecakes. I love cheesecake, bro. I actually love strawberry cheesecake with no strawberry. So I think I just like cheesecake. And it's not a factory, it's a restaurant. Man.
Cheesecake Factory is the type of place that you go on a date after you've been dating someone for a while. I think it's like
Yeah,
an 8th or
yeah.
9th date type of place. Because first of all, it's fancy, but not like fancy. So what do you wear? It's very easy to overdress at Cheesecake Factory. It's not cheap, so you can't order a ton of dishes.
but the portions are fucking massive.
So either you're just gonna be eating jambalaya pasta for 2 hours straight and no other taste is gonna be hitting your taste buds, or you have to be comfortable enough with your date to share their food. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Listen, I have beef with Cheesecake Factory as a
Me
first date. So when I
too.
hear that Reesa's first date is going to be at Cheesecake Factory, I already knew it's gonna go down, okay? I already knew. Reesa is swiping through Facebook dating one night, and she sees a man named Legion.
What do you mean? Like Facebook has dating?
Yes.
What? I was confused.
Oh. But you know what? That
What?
makes sense.
Yeah, because they're all about like connecting
Yeah.
your parts.
That does make
Want to
sense.
see their photos and families and comments.
See if they have
Tags.
in a relationship.
That's good.
Facebook dating.
Feels like that's for a certain.
Age group. They are older than us, okay? So put some respect on the. So
Why?
Reesa's swiping through Facebook dating one night, and she
That's
sees
funny
a
as
man
hell.
named
I mean, you're not
Legion.
wrong.
And they immediately match up and start a conversation, and like it's kind of weird. So like the first thing he asks her is something along the lines of like, "You didn't recognize me on Hinge." It's just weird. I guess they're both on Hinge and they matched on Hinge and then they came over to Facebook dating and then matched on Facebook dating as well. And then he's like, oh, you don't remember me? We matched on Hinge. Is the vibe. I don't know if it's like a weird joke that I'm not getting, but that's the vibe I was getting. And she's just like, oh, I guess I didn't. Haha. It's awkward, but they make it a whole little inside joke. This is like the awkward speed bump, but once they get past it, it's good. This is the good stuff. They're hitting it off. They're talking on the phone about everything in their lives. This is the beginning stages of a relationship. Talk till 7 a.m. type of feeling. She goes first. Reesa's like, let me tell you about my job, family, hobbies, usual stuff. And he's asking. It's not like she's on the phone like, let me tell you, let me break it down. And she's like, yeah, well, what about you? Floodgates fucking open. She has never met another man in her entire life that talks more than her. That's like me meeting a man that talks more than me. That would be a lot.
Impossible.
I don't
impossible.
think I would like it, okay?
That's
I mean,
not
the man
even-
could talk for days. She's shook. She's getting a Wikipedia page on this man. First conversation. He was born in Philly, moved to San Diego, went to university in San Diego, got married with his first wife in San Diego. He tells Reesa that he has 6 siblings in all different states. Then he was working at Apple at one point. He played arena football. He moved to Georgia because he works at like a condiment business. Think about one of the biggest condiment companies.
Condiment?
I was
Ketchup?
thinking Heinz ketchup.
I feel
Me
like there's
too.
bigger ones.
I don't freaking know. I don't know.
But it's a condiment company. You probably have it in your fridge right now.
Yeah.
But don't worry. It's all a lie.
What?
Anyway,
It's all a
he's like,
lie?
I used to work at Apple, and then I got a divorce in California with my first wife, and then she's got kids, and then those are my stepkids, but I still talk to my stepkids, but then I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, because I had this great opportunity with my company to be a regional
Shut
director for this
your
condiment.
ass up.
It's a whole lot going on. He even has like the character development arc going on. He's like, yeah, life was so great in California until shit started going down, until I found my wife was cheating on me. He's like, I came home one day to our beautiful family home. There is another man there. We got into it.
Dang.
Like it's a lot.
That's
so he
cray
gets a
cray.
divorce. He transfers for this
Ching,
job.
ching.
And that's how he made his way to the good old peach state of Georgia.
Georgia, baby. Ow.
Georgia.
No,
I
Legion's
can't
trying to
stamp
build his
that.
fresh
I ain't gonna lie.
start, but since
Florida.
he's working all the time, he doesn't really have a chance to make any friends outside of work.
Yeah.
Reesa is like his first real friend before they're even dating. They're like friends now, right? And he asked her, what's your favorite restaurant?
Ow.
She's like, you know what? I like the Cheesecake Factory. And like, I love the Cheesecake Factory too. Same. But I'm telling you, it's a 9th date type of place.
Right.
That's all I can say about it. And they make plans to meet up that weekend at the Cheesecake Factory.
Question to the tribe. Question to the tribe. First date, your date suggests Cheesecake Factory. Is that like a red flag or like you just keep it pushing? Question for the tribe.
She gets ready. She puts on a cute outfit. She gets to the door. And as soon as she's about to hit the exit to go to the Cheesecake Factory, she's been on the highway. I think 285. Zoom, zoom, right?
And then boom.
Her tire pops. The tire is yeeted. Gone. I'm just kidding. Like, no, I'm kidding. It's there, but it's just like flat. So she starts panicking. She gets off the exit, goes to the nearest gas station. I think it's a Chevron. She's very descriptive, y'all. Like,
Yeah, no,
you
like,
think
you got all the
I put in all the details? This woman,
Or
I
she.
love her. She needs like 25 podcasts. She's at a Chevron. She can't fix the tire herself. So she's just sitting there with this flat tire. She's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. It's a whole mess. But she does need to call Legion because, it sounds like a lie. But she's like, I gotta cancel the date because I have a flat tire and I'm sitting at Chevron.
Yeah.
And he's quiet for a second. And then he's like, drop your pin. Drop your pin. And in record timing, he pulls up, changes her tire.
That's hot, right?
That is hot. Yeah.
Changes her tire into the spare tire. Then first thing she notices though is he looks better than his profile pictures. So he's 42 years old and he's giving a little bit
Better
of that
than
like
the profile pic?
older, sophisticated look. He's 6'4". Yeah. He looks like a
What?
regional director. Like he's hitting all the marks. And then after he changes her tire, he's like, hey, there's this new a tire shop nearby. Let's go and get you a new tire. Because you can't actually drive on your spare tire for too long. Isn't that what
Right.
they say or something?
Yeah, that's
like you
facts.
have to get your tire
You
replaced.
do,
Your
very
spare is not
soon.
really like another tire.
No.
So they drive up to that
It's
place.
just an
and before
emergency.
she gets the chance, he pays for her tire. He swipes his credit card.
Oh, he's really
This is
checking all the
like
boxes.
As good of a first date as it can get.
Are you
I feel like he
kidding?
flirting with
This
me.
is insane.
This is like a Disney
Reesa
story.
is so impressed. But there's a whole debate on this, okay? Is this a green flag or is this a red flag? I thought it's a green flag.
Me
Why
too.
is it a red flag?
Right.
Everyone in the comments is like, that tire was a warning from God. Girl, that tire was the universe trying to stop
Like a
you from
sign.
meeting this man. Blown tire equals ancestors saying,
Don't go, baby.
but I felt like this was a green flag.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
I
that's
feel
sweet
like
as
this is
hell.
like the gods telling you, see
Yeah.
what this man can do.
And then I feel like if it didn't happen, if he wasn't a Michael and he was a Richard, people would be like,
Get yourself a husband who
Webtoon
loves you like he
daddy
loves
supremacy.
her, right?
no. Regardless, he fixes her tire, buys her a new tire, and even after all of that night, the night is still young. Cheesecake Factory is still open. And they're like, should we do it? No, like go to Cheesecake Factory.
Right.
So they're holding hands as they walk in through the front of Cheesecake Factory. And at this point, Reesa's got butterflies. People are walking past them in the parking lot. And she's like, this could be my new normal. This feels good. This feels right. Like, how comforting is it being with someone that you just know can take care of your problems?
See, it's not only he's like doing it, like he's physically taking care of her, with
Yeah.
taking his tire, and financially by swiping his card.
Yes!
And now he's gonna go treat her to a meal.
And
Hey.
like emotionally calm her down from the bus
Dude,
tire. Are you
this is good.
It's so good. It's so good, okay?
This shit
No,
sound like a
it turns out
movie.
a lot of couples were on date night that night, so they end up waiting a long time. But like, why does that stop them from starting their date? It doesn't.
Right.
They head outside and Legion immediately gets down to business.
Huh?
He tells her, I'm not here to play games.
Whoa.
It's a
Are
lot.
you talking about they're waiting for Cheesecake Factory?
Yeah, and he's like, I'm not here to play games. He's like, I'm looking for a wife, my queen, the woman he's gonna spend the rest of his life with. That's what he's looking for. He's not
On the
looking for
first
like
date?
these hee ha ha dates. He doesn't have time for that. He wants the quintessential family, happy wife with 2 kids. He tells her that his parents have been married for 40 years before both of them died, and he
My
wants a
parents
family
been married
where,
for a long
you know,
ass time,
He's
like 40
painting a
years.
vision for her. The kids all wake up in their own rooms and they all run downstairs for breakfast every morning. They have those family movie nights on the weekends.
My nigga, we haven't even taken a bite of the cheesecake yet. You talking about some kids running downstairs and dining room and like, come on, bro, it's the first. Some people may feel that though. Some people may be on that vibe. Plus, they are advanced in age. So, you know, maybe time is running out. Wait, no. No. You move at the pace that you want to move. Time is not running out for nobody. Well, it is. We're all gonna die, but I just don't want any older tribe members to feel like their time is running short, because that's not true. It's not. No, it actually isn't. Like, all jokes aside. Listen. Damn. Kids, they still in the line for their first date at Cheesecake Factory. At least wait till y'all get to dessert. Like, come on.
Before both of them died. And he wants a family where, you know, like, he's painting a vision for her. The kids all wake up in their own rooms and they all run downstairs for breakfast every morning. They have those family movie nights on the weekends where they all bundle up with popcorn and candy. He didn't say that verbatim, but that's like the vibe he's giving. And to be fair, he's so good. Like, somebody has cooked here. He's a family man. I mean, to this day, he still keeps in touch with his siblings. And even though like his first marriage fell through, he still checks in on his 2 stepkids on a daily basis. These are not his kids. I mean, I personally think stepkids are your kids, but you
Right.
get the idea. Like,
I
Yeah.
remember the last time my dad called me.
I don't remember the last time my father called me, okay?
Damn.
But he's calling his stepkids every day. He said he doesn't even like his ex-wife, but he likes the kids and he wants to be there for them. Really, the best answers ever. And on top of that, he's Christian. And not just like Christian, but Reesa says he can quote the Bible like nobody's business.
Okay, but I
Reesa
can
probably
quote the
has this
Bible,
whole
bro, like-
checklist in her mind. And he's checking off every single little box before they even sit down for dinner. She
Right.
hasn't even had an avocado egg roll from Cheesecake Factory yet, and he's clicking off all the boxes.
That's what I'm saying.
And of course, Reesa, like any of us,
Wait, but she's
Don't
liking
act
this?
like you wouldn't.
she's nodding along like, that is what I want. Those are my goals. Those are my dreams, okay? And so the first date, amazing. It's usually miserable, but there's no awkwardness. Dinner goes so well, in fact, that afterwards they sit in the parking lot until midnight just talking. Like, they're really
Wow.
getting along. He plays A Good Night by John Legend. which has one lyric that goes, "I think I just met my wife tonight."
Bro, this is premeditated.
Hold on.
He
Hold
planned
on.
the song. He knows the line. Like, oh my god, this is too good.
Yeah, I no longer think someone cooked here. I think someone started a fucking Michelin star restaurant here. He's so good. And it's such a niche song. It's not like he's playing Marry Me by Jason Derulo, because that would be so
Too much.
obvious.
Too much.
This is so niche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they talk for hours and hours, and he reveals to her, yeah, I'm an ex-football player for arena football, which, by the way, what the fuck is arena football? Because
Right.
Reesa didn't know either. And when she asks him about it, turns out it's like a touchy subject. He would just kind of, he would either avoid it or kind of get a little bit defensive about it. But anyway, let's pretend that didn't happen, because who the fork cares about sports, right? For the record, apparently arena football is a real sport. So according to Wikipedia, arena football is a variety of 8-man indoor gridiron football.
I don't know what that means.
What the fuck does that mean?
Bruh,
Gridiron.
okay, it's football. It's not that great of football. Apparently, you can make like $40,000 to $80,000 playing. The needle's closer to 40,000, which is good money, but you know, it's not the NFL. And apparently, they went bankrupt, arena football. So
And if it ain't the NFL, then it's not football. Like, what the hell, bro? What arena football? Hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? Till you stay on.
it's not that great of football.
The NFL is
Apparently,
rigged.
You could make like $40,000 to $80,000 playing. The needle's closer to 40,000, which is good money, but you know, it's not the NFL. And apparently, they went bankrupt, arena football. So
I digress.
besides that, everything is blissfully perfect. Arena football, forget about it. Everything else, green flags. They go on countless dates. They talk on the phone constantly for the next 2 weeks. But then all of a sudden, you know what happens. The mayor shut down the city of Atlanta. The governor was like, nobody's fucking getting out and doing shit because it's COVID.
Whoa.
Oh, this happened in COVID.
2020?
Yeah, so all those little Cheesecake Factory dates, finito, no more, absolutely not illegal. You're gonna die.
That's not what they said, but you get the vibe. So
Everybody's trying to quarantine, and Reesa gives me,
You're gonna
she
die.
gives me someone who likes to stick to the rules in like the best way possible. So she's like, no, I'm gonna quarantine. And yes, it's only been 2 weeks since when they first started dating. But do you remember how slow time was moving when everybody was in lockdown?
Yeah.
2 weeks feels like 3 months, right? Everything's blending together.
I loved it.
And Reesa, she's like, I know how crazy this sounds, you guys, but it made sense in the moment. Why don't we move in together?
At that point, even like a human contact means a lot.
Yes, and I don't think it's like bring your boxes and your lease. It's like, oh, just bring a bunch of stuff over and quarantine in my house. You know, it's not like this whole thing.
Yeah.
So even though Legion is house shopping right now, he's like, oh yeah, I was in the process of looking for a house to buy, but right now I'm in a 1-bedroom studio apartment. And it was kind of a no-brainer. Reesa lives in a 3-bedroom townhouse, so it's very logical for them to quarantine at her place. And from the beginning, he was helping with all like the house bills, utilities, everything that had to do with the house, even the mortgage, I believe he was paying for it at one point. He was very happy to do it. He's a regional manager at the condiment business. So he's making
Heinz.
pretty good money. And he wants to take
Hot
care of
dogs?
his women, right?
Right.
She even admits it was intoxicating. Being a woman that always takes care of yourself, it was intoxicating to not have to worry about paying the bills, like to have a man take care of you for once.
Yeah, I know.
And don't get me wrong, Reesa isn't.
I ain't gonna hold you. I was talking to a girl where like, I don't know how I was raised is that like I pay for everything, and that's like I don't see anything wrong with that. I was talking to this girl where we went on like a couple dates and I was paying for everything, and she like kind of pulled me aside and was just talking to me about how it's just such a different feeling being with you, and I'm looking at her like, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about right now? I don't like when there's too much attached to like something that I consider nothing. Like I don't really consider that a big deal. So the fact that you attaching that, like you attaching such emotion to it, is like, I don't know, it's scary to me because it's like, whoa. I've done that my whole life. Why are you bringing attention to it now? Because now you're gonna make me self-conscious about something that I never really thought about. You know what I'm saying? But that's just the me thing though. It's nothing to do with them. That's really just, it's because I'm a loser. On the flip side of that, like my sis pays for everything because she is the breadwinner. She is the money maker. So there's a sense of like power. She's also crazy.
He wants to take care this woman, right? She even admits it was intoxicating. Being a woman that always takes care of yourself, it was intoxicating to not have to worry about paying the bills, like to have a man take care of you for once.
Damn.
And don't get me wrong, Reesa is an independent woman. She's like never relied on a man for anything. And this is just nice. It's not like she needs it, but it's just nice.
It just feels good, yeah.
But on
yeah,
the other side of this, she is struggling a little bit because ever since she was a kid, she told herself that she would never move in with a man unless it's her husband.
Smart.
I believe she's religious about it. So she never really felt right about the whole situation, but she keeps reminding herself, like, we're on the path to marriage, and if it wasn't for the lockdowns, this probably wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's just like life got weird. So Reesa decides, let me trust the process. They settle into their new normal. They start to ask each other, since they're house shopping, like, are we gonna buy a house together after lockdown? Because like, what's going on then? And it doesn't take Legion long to answer. And he's like, the decision is obvious. It's time to look for a family home for the both of us. So Reesa introduces him to her family. In the meantime, Legion is still treating her well. She's never had to worry about money ever since she's been with him. He's paying for everything. That's what's crazy about all of this, because I was thinking, oh, is this like a money scam?
But he's paying.
It's not. I don't know what the scam is. I don't know what the end goal was. That's what makes it crazier.
This is giving like a Netflix, you know, the life is just picture perfect. You meet a man, he's here to change your life.
Right.
Giving
It is
you all the love
happening,
and support.
like-
and you're just in like La La Land.
Yeah.
And then everything will crumble down.
Yeah, and I genuinely thought he's going to be like, can you pay for something? No.
Yeah. No,
So
this is like a perfect life.
Yeah, I'm getting really confused right now.
Me too.
Now,
Me
he's even
too.
doing household chores. He's making sure that every chance she gets, he's forcing her to get off her feet and relax. He's cooking, he's cleaning. I mean, you would have thought that this whole man's mission and purpose in existence is happy wife, happy life. That's the feeling. So Reesa starts introducing him to her family.
Right.
Most of them had to meet through Zoom, you know, because,
the
all of that.
quarantine. Yeah,
but
yeah,
at
yeah.
least they got to know each other. And
Right.
he told them how he can fight. Like, if he needed to, he could protect their daughter with his two bare fists.
I
Okay.
can fight.
I can flight.
Fight or flight.
He starts running away.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. Bye. And then football. Like, everybody loves the pro football players.
That was a bagel talk. He said that proudly too. He's like, I can fight. These niggas tickle me. What's the phrase? Tribe. They tickle me wet. Ooh.
Zoom, you know, because, all of that.
Yeah, I
but
still
at
use
least
Zoom.
they got to know each other.
I be
And
using
he
Skype.
told them how he can fight. Like, if he needed to, he could protect their daughter with
I
his
can-
two bare fists.
That's such a random thing to like bring up though.
Flight.
Fight or flight.
He starts running away.
안녕하세요.
And then football. Like, everybody loves the pro football player. So he always mentions his career in arena football. And if that doesn't impress her family enough, he's always bragging about how much money he makes and how he's going to take care of her. They don't have to worry about a single thing. I mean, this man is a keeper. So all these butterflies, they're in her stomach, and one by one, they start dying. Rapid pace. This was the first few videos of Reesa's Who the F Did I Marry? But she spends 51 more episodes explaining how every single thing that he said on that first date at Cheesecake Factory was a fucking lie.
What?
Remember, Legion made it a running joke about her not recognizing him on Hinge.
Right.
That's because he was going by a different name on Hinge. She didn't even realize until later that everything that he told her, his identity, everything, a whole bunch of bullshit. And it's like he joked about it right in her face. She would call it
What?
the United Nations of red flags. So if you guys don't know, buying a house
kinda
is
hard.
a pretty step-by-step simple process. Buying a house is simple. It's the getting the money to buy a house that's complicated, right? But like the actual process, it's annoying, it's tedious. There's a lot of people involved, but everybody goes about it the same way. It's like there's only a few ways you can buy a house. There's no like, underground loophole. It's like there's 2, 3.
Yeah, you just walk into somebody's house and say, this is my house now. That's step 1. Step 2 depends on their answer. Right.
Only a few ways you can buy a house. There's no like, underground loophole. It's like there's 2-3 ways to buy a house, and it's easy, but it's routine.
How you buy a
can't
house?
jump ahead for the fun stuff. Like, you have to do everything in the order that it's in. Now, first things first, Legion tells the realtor, because remember, they're house shopping for their family home. He tells the realtor that he's gonna buy the house all cash.
Ooh.
Reesa's like, oh.
How much is it?
Red flags.
So this is where it gets really weird. They
Red
look
flag.
at houses in a really big range. So normally when people buy houses,
You have exact budget.
yeah, and then like maybe you'll go like a few thousand over your budget, but like you try to stay in your budget, you know?
Yeah.
But they were looking at houses anywhere between 300,000 to like 900,000.
That's
it's
weird.
It's a huge weird budget because
That's also like if you're a realtor, you get that, you'll be like, it sounds unserious.
yeah, it's just weird.
You're not really buying. You're just looking around. Like, what
Yeah.
do you mean?
In cash?
300 to 900. There's gotta be a number. Like when you're house shopping, you already did your kind of
Math,
homework,
yeah.
or on Zillow, you already know what kind of house you want. what
Yeah,
budget
that's
you
actually
want.
fact.
The range was weird. Like the whole range is kind of bizarre. So he's like, yeah, I'm going to pay all cash. She's like, what? She's worried about this. Reesa's I want to say she's very cautious.
Financially
like, she seems
astute.
like she has her stuff together. So she's like, well, I can't pay the mortgage on a $900,000 house. So if we go in this together, I can't do it. I don't want to put my name on it. Like, that's a lot of responsibility that I'm not ready for because I don't have those funds. I don't make money like that. And he's like, no, I'm going to pay all cash. So don't even worry about it. Like when I made money with arena football, I made a lot of money and I invested it. So I'm good. I am just going to, like, all my money's in an offshore account.
Not an offshore.
Guys,
Offshore
I
account.
just want to say one thing. Unless you meet
I'm gonna
someone
start saying that shit.
who's running like
Head
scam.
funch.
or who is like a billionaire. I rarely meet people who's like, I got money in an offshore account. Like, some people might have a bank in Korea because if they're like going back,
Hey, when I say I got money in an offshore account, I mean that like there's a stash of money on a beach that I will not disclose. Yeah, it's close to the shore. It's offshore. Hey, and it's in Miami, bro. Like, dude, offshore account, like, ooh, can I open a bank in Switzerland? Because that's definitely off the shore. It's off the shore of what, though?
like, some people might have a bank in Korea because if they're like going back in Korea, but like an offshore account, like you're talking like the Cayman Islands or something.
You can have a bank there?
It's weird. It's weird. It's just weird.
No, it's
so he's like,
lying.
yeah, everybody knows it's smart to have money in an offshore account. Like, just trust me.
It's
you know, taxes and shit. And she's
Right.
like, well, that makes sense because, well, I don't know. It's just, I guess it makes sense, right?
I guess.
So the couple, they spent all their free time looking for houses. And Reesa's having a good time. But the comments on her video say,
From studio apartment to $700,000 cash offer on a house is crazy, sis.
It is. That's
I
insane. That's
digress. They find a house. I mean, everything about this house is beautiful. And it's, I think, like $400,000. It's the perfect size, everything. She starts fantasizing about this house because of how, sir, are you opening a chip bag right now?
Sorry.
Or are you starting like an aluminum foil business over there?
Hold on. Give me a second. Sorry.
what chip is
So
it?
everything about this house, they love it. They end up putting an offer into the house. Well, like Legion's handling all of it because her name's not even going to be on the house. Because, you know, they're not married yet. She doesn't even want it to be on the house. She's fine with it not being on the house. Like, this is money he
Interesting.
made before they even got together.
Okay.
So she's like, okay, yeah, like, do your thing. He's doing all the paperwork. He puts an offer in on the house and he's like, yeah, the seller accepted it. We're going to go into under contract. It's going to be a whole thing. Now, the world works in mysterious ways. She goes to check out the house on Zillow and it's under contract. So she's like, okay, great, this is perfect. She starts going through the pictures and now she's thinking about decorating. And he's like, we got to go to Home Depot, babe, because the seller told me that they're getting rid, like they're taking a bunch of the appliances, which is kind of weird. Like, you don't really take the fridge when you move, right? And so he's like, yeah, they're taking the fridge, they're taking everything. So like, we got to go buy these appliances.
These niggas,
They go
what?
to Home Depot. He's got a whole printed piece of paper of all the things the seller is taking, like an email from the seller. And he's like checking it off one by one. He's like, we got to get a fridge. We got to get a stove. We got to get this. We got to do that. And she's like, she's going in. She's like picking the perfect ones. And then he's like,
I got you, baby.
they go to checkout and they're like, hey, these are all the things that we want, but we haven't closed on the house yet. So you can't deliver it right now. And they're like, yeah, this happens all the time when people buy houses. It's going to be like a $500 deposit and then it'll deliver once you guys give us a call.
It's
Something
gonna-
along those lines.
35.
$500 deposit now. And they're like, yeah, this happens all the time when people buy houses. It's going to be like a $500 deposit, and then it'll deliver once you guys give us a call. Something along those lines.
3,500?
No, 300 to 500.
Oh, okay.
And he pays it. Yeah. And she's like, okay, great. Now he's like, we got to go to Ashley Furniture and buy a bunch of furniture. So they go to Ashley Furniture, and he's like taking pictures of all the barcodes and the names. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to order it all online. So she's like, okay, I picked out all my appliances. I picked out all my furniture. And meanwhile, nonstop throughout this whole process, like since the day she met him, Legion's got like 1,000 calls on a daily basis. He's got 25 calls to his realtor on a daily basis, 5 calls to his wealth manager, financial manager.
Wait, what is he doing?
I don't know.
Let's move 10 million to
to
this country, please.
Yeah, to an offshore. Like, just put it in a bottle and throw it into the water or something. Like, keep it offshore for sure. You know what I mean? Yeah, like, it's just...
Keep it offshore for sure is crazy.
And then all of a sudden, Reesa never hears from that realtor again. And Legion would go from realtor to realtor, just trying to find someone who does business the right way. So that original house falls through. And there's just always a reason that it doesn't work. And then what's crazy is that sometimes it's not on their side. It's not their fault. Okay. Does that make sense? No. Like if it was constantly Legion's fault, then it would make sense that everything's falling through and it's weird. He's the weird one. But then like the second house that they like that house just ends up not closing and they're like, you know what, let's just pick a different house. It wasn't perfect for whatever reason. They pick a different house and then they put in the offer. The seller doesn't want to sell it to them. And the seller is like, well, actually, because they want the basement to be finished. And it was a builder. So I wonder if it's like one of those new build areas. Okay. And the builder was like, no, we're not going to finish any of these basements. Like, you have to take it as is. So I'm not even going to accept your offer. Then another one, there was a problem with like the sewage tank, like the septic tank. So it would take $20,000 to fix it. And the seller was like, well, I'm not going to do it. So whoever the buyer is has to fix the septic tank.
Wait.
So it was like a whole...
But the seller's going to have to like fix that though. Otherwise, he won't be able to sell the house for anything good. That's a loss. You're gonna have to take that hit, random seller.
I'm not gonna finish any of these basements. Like, you have to take it as is. So I'm not even gonna accept your offer. Then another one, there was a problem with like the sewage tank, like the septic tank. So it would take $20,000 to fix it. And the seller was like, well, I'm not gonna do it. So whoever the buyer is has to fix the septic tank.
Better sell
so it was
that
like
shit
a whole
for cheap.
thing. Like there were
Extra
so
cheap.
many. They go through 25 houses.
Oh shit.
What?
25 houses.
That's crazy.
They just keep shopping every weekend. They're going to open houses. And it's so time consuming. But not only that, the first, like we've been house hunting before. The first 2 houses are exciting. By like the 4th, it's just so stressful.
Yeah,
and then on top of that, if you end
like
up loving a house, but for whatever reason, if it's out of budget or somebody puts in a higher offer than you, like it's really stressful because you get so emotionally attached.
Yeah.
It's not even just the house you're attached to. You're attached to the idea of like having a certain family and like building a dream there. And like it just is, it gets depressing. So she's emotionally drained from all of this so quickly. She's just so stressed all the time. And something does feel off. She couldn't really understand it. She couldn't really justify it. But Reesa does start creating these audio diaries. She would go into her closet, and I think she prays in her closet, and she would just kind of record her thoughts. So instead of like writing it down, she would just kind of audio. I'm telling you, this is going to be a Netflix special. Like, it's going to be so good.
I'm getting like goosebumps. Yeah.
Right.
She's audio recording herself.
Audio diaries?
This is like a thriller book, okay? And she's audio recording herself, so it's not like illegally recording other people or anything. She's journaling, essentially. And throughout this whole house process, there's like 2 general ways that you can go about buying a house, right? These are general. And I'm sure there's other ways that I just don't know about. But you can either get approved for a loan, which is like a mortgage. You go to the bank and you're like, hey, this is the house I want to buy. Or like, this number is the house I want to buy. Can you like run my financials, check my assets, see if you want to loan me the money? You have to get pre-approved for a mortgage loan. Or you can do the all cash buy, which means you got that money in the bank. Like you have that exact amount of money liquid in your bank account to be able to buy this house on the spot. So you're like, here's my money, right? Either way, the realtor needs to know off the bat. Like if you're going the mortgage route, you need to be pre-approved and they want that pre-approval. If you're going to buy all cash, you need proof of funds. Yeah. Now this stuff happens before you even put an offer on the table. A seller almost never accepts an offer before seeing proof of payment. Like proof of funds. So to Reesa, the alarms are going off in her head because there's multiple houses where Legion just doesn't want to show proof of funds until the seller accepts his offer.
That's weird.
Yeah, like it's really weird. Have you ever heard of that happening? What would incentivize the seller? Because, okay, so the seller, they've got other offers, I'm sure, or they don't want to take the house off the market just to go through this weird process and then nothing happens, it being a flop. Then they just took time off the market where they're still paying for their mortgage. Like it just wouldn't make any sense.
No seller would do
correct?
that. That's
It's a
actually
standard.
incredibly
You show
stupid.
that you have the money ready from the bank or from yourself, and then they will accept your offer. Like,
That's how it works.
Yeah, but he's like, no, I'm not showing proof of funds until my offer is accepted.
To the real estate world, that means he ain't got the funds. Like, not even to the real estate world. To anybody with a brain cell.
Legion just doesn't want to show proof of funds until the seller accepts his offer.
Weirdo.
That's weird.
Yeah, like it's really weird. Have you ever heard of that happening? What would incentivize the seller? Because, okay, so the seller, they've got other offers, I'm sure, or they don't want to take the house off the market just to go through this weird process and then nothing happens, it being a flop. Then they just took time off the market where they're still paying for their mortgage. Like it just wouldn't make any sense, correct?
Right.
It's a standard. You show that you have the money ready from the bank or from yourself, and then they will accept your offer. Like that's it.
Yeah, but
That's
he's
just
like,
what it
no,
is.
I'm not showing proof of funds until my offer is accepted. Why would I show my bank details until the offer is accepted? It's just kind of weird.
Nah,
but Reesa
that'll make
doesn't
no
really
sense.
know, like, what's going on. So she's just confused about the whole thing. And at one point, she's just like screaming at him, like, just show them the fucking proof of funds. Like, it's not that big of a deal. At one point, their realtor, Amber, was even just like, hey, can you just show me the proof of funds? Like, just so we can have it in the brokerage. Like, we don't have to give it to the sellers.
Yeah.
Just like give it to me, right? I mean, obviously you trust me. And the realtor ends up calling Reesa. And she's like, I think it's very smart to hold off on all this house buying process. Her name's Amber, and she's like, if I can give you a piece of advice, do your research, and whether you decide to buy a house with him or on your own, I would be happy to represent you. She's like giving a nudge of like, I'm a realtor, and this is weird. Like, this is not normal behavior. This is not someone who can afford a house behavior. So Reesa finds out that, again, he wants to put in the offer, get it accepted, doesn't want to show the proof of funds. And this process just happens like 25 times. She feels like she's being forced on a roller coaster and she's about to throw up, but it never stops going. And she never like fully throws up, so it's just miserable. And Reesa doesn't know it at the time, but these handful of realtors that Legion turned down, they actually cut ties with Legion because he was wasting so much of their time.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
That's
like
what I
so
figured.
many houses. I mean, time is money, and they've been doing this
Facts.
process over and over, and Legion refuses to show proof of funds.
I ain't
like,
got the time to be
basic
messing
stuff.
around with that shit.
They
Yeah.
only get paid when the house is
The house
sold.
gets
Exactly.
yeah.
They're
So this-
doing like months of work for nothing.
For nothing. And the comments are asking exactly what I'm wondering, which is, what's his end game?
Right.
Because
How does
not
this
once
end for
does
him?
he ask Reesa, can you show proof of funds? Can you pay for the house? Not a single time. Legion is like a rocking chair, the comment said. He keeps you busy, but gets you nowhere. You just be rocking back and forth. You're very busy, but you're not going anywhere. Legion always has some sort of excuse, like the property.
That's low-key a bar. Hold on. Like a rocket chair gets you going back and forth, but you going nowhere like a rocket chair.
You just be rocking back and forth. You're very busy,
You
but you're not
just
going
be rocking.
anywhere. Legion always has some sort of excuse, like the property has too many repairs that needs to be done. The interest rate is way too high right now. It's too small. It's too big. And he does show her, Reesa, a Chase-approved mortgage pre-approval with like the Chase stamp on top.
A letter.
A letter.
Okay.
You could forge
But
those.
It's just a letter.
You could definitely
So we
forge
think it's
those.
fake. You know what I mean? But she decides to put up with it, and she decides to
wouldn't
get him
know.
out of the lie. I mean, time is of the essence. She wants to believe Legion would do right by her. And after all, she's pregnant now. She's pregnant with Legion's baby. And, you know, traditionally in Christianity, having a child before marriage is a big no-no.
Right.
And second, she was very concerned that she was going to be high risk for pregnancy. Reesa mentions that she's older, plus size, and Legion, on the other hand, he's not worried about any of that. He's like so excited, but she's terrified. She's terrified for herself. And I think that she had just had a gut feeling.
Yeah.
I think like just none of it felt, and I think also, you know, with her religion, it just wasn't the way she pictured it. So it's not perfect.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like,
There's gonna be that feeling
I mean,
of you
you're
did something
already
wrong.
getting kind of nervous when you're pregnant, right? Like
Yeah.
you're worried about the future.
Your hormones, yeah.
The way
yeah.
you're saying it makes it sound like I'm pregnant.
Oh no. What?
And she also mentions that she thinks the pregnancy is going to be high risk because she's under a lot of stress. Like dating a manipulator does that to you.
Right.
Reesa basically starts her pregnancy under a huge amount of stress. And not only is she living with the man that she's not married to, now she's going to have his baby. And engagement isn't even on the table. They're not even engaged yet. Legion is doing nothing to help calm her nerves. He's constantly giving her a gut feeling that something not good is going on. Like something's just not right. But having a baby complicates things. On one hand, she's starting to see that this man is not who he says he is, but she's about to have his baby. So the man better wife her up soon.
Right.
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 And if the man is willing to buy her a $900,000 house, I mean, surely he's going to give her a very elaborate proposal. This is so sad. A lot of people commented, did I miss the proposal part? Like, how did you get, because she skipped through it. She's like, okay, now we're engaged. And now we're going to get married. And people are like, tell us about, she was like, I skipped it because it was so embarrassing.
What-
And I didn't want, like, I don't think she wanted the comments to be like, I would have never. So like, let's not do that because it's not, it's giving marry my husband. Basically, Legion takes her to the
What
Mall
is
of
this marry
Georgia
my
one
husband
day,
shit?
which if
Did
you've
we
been to
watch
the
that,
Mall
John?
of Georgia, it's, you know, it's not
a big mall.
It's a big mall, but it's
The mall of-
definitely not a Century City. It's not like a vibey mall. It's just a big indoor mall.
I ain't
right?
never
Like
been
it's
to
not
either
like a
of them
vibey,
places.
like the Hyundai Mall in Seoul. Like they're not like vibey.
You're telling me he's doing it in the mall?
No.
Oh, okay.
And he just takes her to a store and is like, pick out a ring. Yeah, it wasn't glamorous. It wasn't elaborate. She picks one out and the jeweler tells the couple that the ring's going to be mailed to them once it's fitted. Now, the ring process is done and this is Legion's time to shine. And it's normal. I think picking out a ring together is totally normal.
Yeah,
But
that's
he
the good
tells
part,
her,
but,
I'm
like-
going to give you the ring when I'm ready to give you the ring. Basically, like, I'm going to propose to you with the ring. Like, I'm not just going to give you the ring.
Okay.
And he needs to set the tone, you know?
Okay.
And tone he will set.
Okay.
It's just a normal night at home. Almost time for dinner. Reesa cooks something simple up and they sit down, turn on the TV, and they're sitting across the table together to eat. But before they finish, he says, Reesa. And he slams the ring box onto the dinner table, looks her in the eye, and says, so this means you're going to be my wife. He never gets up from his seat. He never gets on one knee. He never asks her the question, will you marry me? It was sad, yeah, bare minimum, and not what Reesa deserves. But at the end of the day, she takes the ring and becomes his fiance. And just like a side note here, again, Reesa mentions in her video she didn't want to bring it up because of how embarrassed she was. So let's have some empathy, you guys.
I
Nah,
don't
for real,
think
for real.
She should be embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like, she
At
should
all.
be embarrassed.
Yeah.
That's
But I think she's
How you gonna
saying, like, you know, people would be like, well, I would never have accepted it, you know?
okay, but how you, bro?
Like, because she accepted the proposal.
Stop, because at the end of the day, if y'all was in that situation, what would you do? Say no? You pregnant with his kid, and he's willing to seemingly pay an absorbent amount. Absorbent? Nah, the word is there, but I'm saying it so wrong. Exorbitant. No, I was right. Exorbitant. EXORBITANT. Anyways, yeah, bro. Y'all gonna have to put some leniency on my shorty head top. Not my shorty. I do not know this woman. Shouts out to her though. Second thing I want to say, do y'all ever like want to take your jaw out and like look at it? Cause I really want to do that. Is that possible? Cause what does it look like? Are x-rays expensive? Like, can I just get a random x-ray just to keep, like, for myself? Like, not like the machine, but like a picture. Like if like an x-ray scan of my full body. It's so weird. How is it connected? Ow! I feel the hinge. So imagine if I just unhinged my jaw, would y'all be like mad at me? Would I not die or something? Like, cause like my jaw just hanging from one side and I'm like, hey Tom, how y'all doing? It's your one time, Louis. I'm sorry. I don't know where that thought process came from, but you gonna have to let it slide. And we're also gonna never remember this ever again. Moving on. Back to the blue side.
But I think she was saying, like, you know, people would be like, well, I would never have accepted it, you know? Like, because she accepted the proposal.
But those people are
No,
douchebags.
no. Like, that's no.
I think she should watch.
Have
Me and
some
My
empathy.
Husband. I think it'll be cathartic. For her.
It's like the 5th
Anyway,
time you
the
mentioned
engagement is a blip in her day. Like it never happened. She had a doctor's
might have to
appointment for
watch
an
that, I ain't gonna
ultrasound one
lie.
morning, and the doctors tell Reesa that everything was on track and the baby looked healthy as ever. She's excited. She goes into work, but hours pass, and all of a sudden, her stomach starts to cramp. She runs to the bathroom and like everything's red. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So she goes back to her OBGYN and they tell her that they recheck the ultrasounds and the baby has no heartbeat. She is devastated.
What the hell
I don't know how you process
happened?
something like that. So she's running to her best friend, like her work bestie's office. She completely breaks down. Her best friend immediately grabs Reesa's purse and keys and takes her home. And she just felt it in her gut. Like it was the stress that did it. So Legion meets her at home. They get on the phone with the doctor together. And Reesa has 3 options because you can't just like leave it. Right. And she spent the next 3 days recovering from pain. She decides that she's going to. So there's 3 options. You go in for a doctor removal, or you can take a pill at home, or you can try to wait for it to naturally exit your body. It as in just everything happening. You get it. She decides to go with the pill.
Why
Now,
can't you just
she
leave
spends
it?
the next 3
Will they not
days
just-
recovering from the pain. She says those 3 days were the most excruciating pain that she's ever felt in her body, especially because she's allergic to the narcotic that they gave her. So you have to take a pain reliever because it's that painful, and she couldn't take it.
Because
Like
she's
it was just making her
allergic.
throw
That's
up even
crazy.
more. So it was really, 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 really bad. I mean, just really bad. So she goes to the doctor a few days later to verify that everything has passed. And the pill usually has a success rate of like 93%. But for Reesa, it didn't work. So the only way that she can get past this is go to the hospital and have a DNC procedure. Now, Legion is trying to do anything and everything to support his fiance. He promises to be the one to take her to the hospital. He's going to be waiting in the parking lot to take her home. But 2 days before, he cancels. He's like, I can't go to the hospital with you. The president of the condiment business is coming in, and I cannot miss this meeting because it's going to be very important. I might get a promotion.
Yeah.
Reesa's kind of pissed, right? Because what are you talking about? Like,
President of the
you know,
condiment
Reesa didn't do
business.
this on her own. It takes 2 to tango. So
Right.
this is not a her problem. Like it's
You know
a
what
their
I'm saying?
problem. And he can't even show up. And then on top of that, it's like she didn't want to tell her family because she didn't want them to stress about it. This is such a personal matter that you don't just like ask a friend, like, hey, can you drive me to the airport? It's so personal. How do you ask a friend or someone to drive you there to have these types of procedures?
It's something you can only
She
do with
ends
your
up
significant
asking
other.
someone though, because she has no choice. She can't drive herself home and drive
Right.
herself there.
Right.
And it was just she said it was utterly embarrassing.
Damn.
Like the fact that her own fiance couldn't make it to the hospital and she had to rely on a work friend.
And now we know that he was lying.
Yes.
So
This is like even 10 times worse.
that's actually
So she gets to the hospital.
did she figure
sends
out
a
he's
quick text
lying?
message to Legion to let him know that she made it okay, but Legion does not text back. Somebody else does. Do you want me to pull Legion out from the meeting? She texts, no, it's okay. I'm just trying to give an update on they're taking me back to the surgical room. Okay, I'm sorry you're going through this. Please let me know if there's anything I can do.
Who the hell is
It's
this?
Legion's
Right.
new executive assistant.
This is crazy.
It's just Legion.
right.
Just pretending to be
But
someone
it's,
else.
yeah, but he's like, that's crazy. Imagine a woman going through
Hey,
this and he's just
Pause.
hee-hawing, pretend.
I don't think I can say this, but I'm gonna say it. All the mods are like, no. Yo, all I'm saying, I'm not gonna say the full thing, but there was like a situation of you know, folks pretending to be things that they're not, and people do that. People do that. I ain't gonna hold you. There was, how old was I? I was 13. This girl thought I was related to Chance the Rapper, so I said I was. I'm not. I don't even know that nigga. Hey, he's one of my favorite rappers. Oh. And this is a great moment of vulnerability for me towards y'all. But there was a moment where there was somebody in my school that did look better than me. Like I would, objectively speaking, I knew that this person looked better than me, and I had pretended to be them. And only reason why I'm saying this so casually is because it backfired so badly on me that like I ain't gonna lie, bro. It is something that you never. I low-key forgot about it. I ain't gonna hold you. But now that we talking about folks that like, I was like, what? This was when I was 14. And mind you, everybody in my school was older than me, so I hadn't really grown into my own yet. But yeah, that shit worked for like 3 days, and it stopped working because I accidentally sent a real picture of him. Oh my god! I tried to play it off and say that was my friend, but it was like you can see the timestamp on the pic, and it said the current time, the current day. It was a selfie. The dude whose picture I used figured it out too. We fought. He beat my ass. Next day we fought again. I beat his ass. Third day, we became friends. I know, this shit was crazy. This shit was actually fucking insane. Great nigga, I ain't gonna hold you. Damn, bro. There's a certain age you reach where you can't be doing shit like this though, bro. Like if I were to do this now, like catfishing at somebody, that's really, really bad. You feel me? Like that's any age really is really bad. But I feel like, and maybe I'm just saying this to excuse my young actions, but when you like, I say from 10 to 16, your actions can be just a little bit excused. And I say you can do that shit when you're younger because there's no real stakes involved for real sometimes. But this is like real shit though. You can't be doing this when you're marrying somebody. Ain't gonna lie, bro. Once you reach like a certain age, like 18, you can't be like making up oh nah, I can't. The mom's gonna be This is non-specified, by the way. You just can't be doing stuff like that.
Please let me know if there's anything I can do.
Who the hell is
It's
this?
Legion's new executive assistant.
AKA Legion.
This is crazy.
It's just Legion.
Oh, it's just him pretending to be
But
someone else.
Yeah, but he's like,
Bro.
that's crazy.
That is
Imagine
crazy.
a woman going through this.
That's what I'm saying.
And he's just hee-hee-hawing, pretending to be his own executive assistant.
Wow.
He's just hee-hee-hawing like.
So after the procedure, Reesa is supposed to be in recovery for around an hour. The nurses go back to check on her and they let her know that they spoke to Legion and he's on his way to pick her up. But 1 hour goes by, 2 hours go by, 3 hours go by, and she's like, oh, this is weird, because even the nurses are looking at her strange. Where did you say he's coming from? She's like, this area. It should really only take an hour. Even with Atlanta traffic, an hour and a half, maybe tops. 3 hours is crazy. Where are you driving to? Fort Lauderdale? So finally, Reesa's on the way home in Legion's car. She doesn't have the energy to argue. She's drowsy from the drugs. She's fuzzy from the anesthesia. And she doesn't even know it at the time, but Legion had secretly texted her mom and her aunt to leave her alone for a week.
Wait, what? Why?
He's trying to isolate her.
Why? Why would he?
So he
want to
can
do that?
manipulate her
Maybe
more.
He doesn't want her to talk about how horrendous this is. And then they would try to convince her, like, oh, then
He's not a right guy. Right?
he's not the right guy.
He needs to be able to control the
Or maybe he
surroundings
just
of
didn't
her.
want her to have a support system and he wanted to be the only one there for her.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, both options are sick.
That's just sick as hell.
So the day
I
of
ain't gonna
Reesa's
lie.
procedure, very draining physically and emotionally, but to Legion, today was a big day for him. One of the biggest, actually. So he tells Reesa, you know, the person that texted you is my new executive assistant because I am now the vice president of production. This is his excuse for missing the meeting or missing the procedure. This was his big break at work and he wanted to make a first good impression and it worked because now he's the vice president.
Do we know if she believed it at that point?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
because he would always call from work and there would be people talking to him. And there'd be
Oh.
people in the background. Like, it sounds like he's at work. There'd be people talking to him. He'd be like, hold on. And then he'd answer the question and then be like, okay, sorry about that. Like, it's crazy. Now, Legion is the new vice president of production, and Reesa mentions in her videos that she's not naming the company, but it's a major condiments company based in Atlanta. Again,
I think it's Heinz.
Bro, you can't be like, you're gonna get a letter from.
From Heinz?
Heinz, I love you. Can you send me a PR package instead? I'm just kidding. So you think
I use
now that
Heinz.
he's the vice president,
I think so.
His schedule might have longer hours. Like life changes when you get a promotion that big to a vice president of production of all things. Like his schedule is gonna have longer hours, different dress codes. But no, he's still leaving for work at 6:15 a.m. and coming home by 3:30 p.m. every day. I don't know a singular vice president of a big corporation.
Period.
I don't know a singular vice president of a big corporation. But if I did, I just feel like that's not the hours they'd be working. Like, I feel like they're working nonstop all day, every day. Every day. And his uniform never changes. He's
always
wearing
on the
his
job
usual
type of
blue
situation.
cargo pants, rubber sole shoes, and a company t-shirt. She said this. Think Amazon warehouse uniform type vibe. Like, it's just like, that's like what you would imagine that they're working.
Not an
like,
Amazon
she never saw
warehouse.
him even remotely dress up for
know.
work. Which, by the way, he excuses this to the fact that he's walking the production line all day. So he can't be doing that in a suit and tie on the production floor. Which, I mean, honestly makes sense. So either way, money makes the world go round, and Legion is about to level up Reesa's whole lifestyle. As vice president, he's getting a lot of benefits. He's going to make over $200,000 a year. He's going to get his very own executive assistant.
He can use the company helicopter.
Ooh.
And they're getting him a company car. Okay, the helicopter bit.
The helicopters.
Really sus. Like, why the hell would you need a helicopter to
go
oversee
where?
condiment production?
Like,
where is he helicoptering to?
France?
Okay, that's cool though.
Yeah,
It is
but
cool.
the comments read, a company car to watch condiments being made. The man was trying to quantum leap into a whole new reality. A helicopter? What would he need a helicopter for? To fly from one line to the next? So, anyway, back to the car shopping. Like,
Quantum
this
leap
is
is
where it gets
crazy.
crazy too. I don't know anyone who has a company car. But from what I thought like the company just has cars and you get a company car. But he's like, I gotta go shopping for my company car.
Oh, okay.
So every weekend they go shopping to these dealerships every single weekend. Instead of a house, now it's a car. It's actually, the house thing is still going on. So every weekend it's either houses and a car or both. Like, it's a lot of shopping and not a lot of buying,
Next
okay?
thing is like helicopter.
Next thing is
Helicopter.
private island, baby, okay? It's a lot. So
Planet
he's gonna get a
shopping.
company car and he's gonna take
I'm
his
down
time.
for that.
He stops by Audi, BMW, Range Rover, Jaguar, Mercedes, and he finally picks out the perfect, because I think the budget is $90,000. He picks out a $90,000 BMW sedan to match his VP daddy status, his VP daddy lore. And he tells the salesperson he needs the paperwork with full car price, tax, tag, and title. Apparently, if you're buying a car
Daddy
with company
lore is
money,
crazy.
that's what you got to do. So the salesperson is like, okay, yeah. Doesn't even bat an eyelash. So Reesa is like, okay, this thing happens frequently. Like, this is how you buy a company car. And like, maybe it is. Now, they get the little sheet. He takes a picture and he starts calling the person in his company in front of not just Reesa, but the salesperson.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. No, do you want me to email it to you or do you want me to do this?
Like, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing, okay? And since he's got it like that, it only makes sense. He's like, oh yeah, by the way, salesperson, the person in our company that is in charge of wiring all this money, they're off work right now. So they're going to be back in office tomorrow morning and you guys should get the wire payment tomorrow morning. Like, can I get your bank details and then I'll come pick up the car tomorrow?
Dude, that's crazy though.
Yes.
Like, what do you do tomorrow? What do you
Yeah.
do?
And then also, like, what a waste of time, no?
Yeah.
Like, why would you want to go test drive something that you know in your right mind that you're not going to own? Like, it's just kind of...
So what happens the
and,
next
like,
day?
Maybe if it's one car, I understand. Like, maybe you just love that car. You want to test drive it, but you know you can't test drive it unless you, like, act like you're buying it. Okay, fine. But, like, to go to all the dealerships, spend all your free time. Reesa was saying they're not even having fun. Like, it's stressful. It's not like they're like joyriding cars and looking at houses. Like, it's such a fun activity to like pretend to have this life for him. It's a stressful thing. So he's like, baby, if I'm getting a car, you're getting a car. Pick a car.
Oh my goodness.
Another one?
Yeah. Because
You
his
say 2 at a time?
his is going to be paid by the company, but hers,
Oh my
he's going to
God.
pay it with his new $200,000 salary.
Nigga
my
think he
gosh.
Oprah.
She's like, I actually really like my car. You know, it's not a nice car, but I like it. It's fine. It works well. It's paid off. Like, I handle my bills. And he's like, no. When we have a family, you're going to need a better car. So Reesa's like, okay, I've always wanted a Kia. Yeah, a starting
Really?
price for that is $36,000. So again, like I'm saying, Reesa really is a woman who's got it together.
Yeah,
Right.
She's thinking ahead. She's not just like
No.
free money.
No, she's not free money. She's not like, oh yeah,
got
I
her
want to
shit
blow
together.
cash. Like she's like, oh well, I can't.
Responsible.
Yes, she's like, I can't afford that mortgage, so I don't know, and then I don't want to be on that, and then I don't want this crazy car. Like I think
I'd go with a
Kia is
Toyota versus a
perfect.
Kia, but
And Legion's like, no,
to each their
you
own.
gotta get something better. Choose between a BMW or an Audi.
Oh,
And
too
he
much
keeps pushing
money on
her, so
maintenance.
she's just like, okay, fine. Like, I guess, right? Like, if he kept insisting to the point where it's like, I'll just get it then, okay? So
Yeah.
she picks out a BMW X5, a dark blue with cognac interior, and she's got good taste. So it's
Cognac?
time to test drive it.
I have a major problem with that word. Why is there a G there? It's cognac. It should be CONIAC. Why? If the G is silent, why is it there? Because it would just be cognac. I know it's a drink and is named after the commune of France. It's also called eau de vie. I think I'm lying on that. Big car, big house, big ring. Like what size ring though? Like, because you can only get like a specific size. Oh, with a fat diamond on it? Okay, let me shut up. Sugar might be on to something. I wouldn't mind a ring with a diamond like the size of King Kong on my pinky. That's not my pinky. What is this? The middle finger.
With cognac interior, and she's got good taste. So it's time to test drive it. She likes it. They start looking online for that exact color
Cognac
combination,
interior.
all of that. And he's like, well, before we get it, you should try an Audi. It's like a whole thing. Anyway, they pick out Reesa's new Audi. She falls in love with a white Q5. He gets to talking with the salesperson, gives his financial advisor a call. He tells Eric, his financial advisor, that he's buying his fiance a new car and he needs his money wired from the offshore account to make the purchase.
Oh yeah, from the
Okay.
offshore.
And the whole time, like, he's on the phone, like,
Yeah. No, I sent it over. Mhm.
Right.
Correct. Do you want me to email that or should I? Okay.
Indeed.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to send it over right now and then I'll call you right after to make sure you got it. Sounds good. Okay. Bye.
Okay.
Wow.
So days pass, and he tells Reesa, the car's coming today. It's going to be delivered at the house between 1 to 3 p.m. So make sure you're home to sign for the delivery. She's like, finally, the day has come. Like, this is months of house shopping, car shopping. Nothing has happened. But by 3 p.m., she's sitting in her kitchen laughing. Because at this point, it's so oyopsa. Oyopsa means redonkulous that you can't help but laugh, okay?
Oyopsa.
And the car never shows.
How
And
you
at
spell
this
that?
point, she doesn't even remember the
B-U-
excuses that have been made to explain why it never came. She doesn't even care. This is the point where she starts
you.
to think, is this man getting off on disappointment? That's what she thinks. Like, he's splooging in his pants from providing empty promises. Like, to see her get so excited and then let down, is that the
that
joy
word?
for him?
Why
All
that
the houses, all the cars. He never follows through. And then why would he go that far? It's starting
Yeah.
to feel like Legion
Yeah.
is finding some sort of sick satisfaction in the fact that Reesa gets excited about something knowing that she's never going to get it.
Yeah, this nigga's
Side
kind of
note,
twisted.
Legion never tells Reesa what happened to his company car either. Basically, he just tells her later that it actually got delivered to the company's office building, but he never drives it home because it's $90,000 and he doesn't want any problems.
What did he say about Reesa's car? 3 p.m. The car didn't come.
Right.
Yeah, he was just making up all these excuses, and she was like, F the car. And she literally straight up told him, I'm going to buy a car with my own money one day. So don't ever talk to me about buying me a car. So she's starting to feel like something is up. She promised
Right.
to stay faithful in her marriage, but she can't deal with more disappointments. She doesn't want to think about a house, car, anything. She just wants to enjoy her family during the holidays. But there's always something with Legion. Don't get me wrong. Legion prioritizes his family as well. A lot. He's constantly on the phone with them. Whether it was one of his ex's stepkids, one of his siblings, or because he's got like 6 siblings, remember? His aunt, uncle, he's always on the phone, like 30 to 40 minutes at a time, just catching up with his family.
Dang.
Cap.
Okay?
Is he talking to himself?
Oh my god. Oh,
20 minutes?
Every day.
Whoa. Hey, hold on. That's a completely different ball game. I thought there was somebody on the phone or something. Yo, every day. That's crazy. For 40 minutes? That's actually insane, bro. I could barely stay on the phone with an actual human being for 40 minutes. I gotta like you, or you gotta be Riker for me to just talk to you for more than an hour on the phone. Oh God. Or the tribe. Yeah, I talk to the tribe all day. But just to talk to myself. But just to talk to myself? No! How is that even supposed to work? That don't make no sense.
Is he talking to himself?
Yeah.
For 40 minutes?
Every day. Every day.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like the phone's not even on?
No.
Oh, that's awkward.
No, it's not just awkward. It's
That's
kind of
embarrassing.
It's scary. Yeah.
Yeah,
The thing
it's
is,
kind
like,
of alarming.
you know, like when you take off your phone from your
Insane.
ear,
Oh, yeah.
it lights up, and then you just see like, you know, it's just
a
a home screen.
Yeah. Like if he's watching TV and she's next to him, he'll get up, call his brother, and be like, "Oh yeah. Nah, yeah, she's right next to me. She's watching TV." John says, "Hey," and then she'll be like, "Hey, John, how are you?" Yeah, did you hear? Yeah, he says he's good. Oh, you guys are doing a barbecue tonight? Oh, okay. What kind of food are you doing?
She never talked to anyone.
She realized at the end she never heard anyone on the other line. But like he wouldn't even just do it in their apartment when the TV's on. He would be on the phone in the car with her. Like he'd be driving and on the phone with someone.
Not on speaker though.
No,
Never.
no.
Never
But it
on
was
speaker.
just weird. Okay, so for example, one time I think he was trying to take her to his sister's barbecue because she had never met his family before. And they're all the way there, GPSing to his sister's house, and then his phone buzzes. It vibrates. It never rings. Okay, he's like, "Oh, I'm getting a call." So he picks it up. Oh man. No, don't even worry about it. It's all right. He's like, something happened.
It got
Something came
canceled?
up. It got canceled. It's like a whole thing.
How does he phone buzz? Like an app?
I don't know if it actually buzzes or if he's just like, "Oh shit,
he's
someone's
like,
calling."
Oh, someone's calling. Got
If
it.
he's like,
Someone, no.
the internet is obsessed with this man's fake conversations. Everyone wants to know, who's he talking to?
Right.
Like, is he playing a video? How does he keep coming up with ways to talk to his own damn self? Like,
Right.
it's truly mind-boggling that a grown-ass man could spend hours every day talking to himself. It's giving Delulu.
That's
The
what I'm
comments read,
saying.
"I don't even want to talk to real people for 45 minutes a
That's
day,
what I
let alone
said.
pretend talk." Baby, he was talking to them voices in his head. He just held the phone up so he doesn't look crazy. Literally the most skilled phone ventriloquist. You know, the
What's that?
it's like when they can talk like this. You know the puppet? They
Oh,
go, "How are you doing,
yeah.
puppet?" And they go,
I'm doing good. How are you?
Whoa.
You're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
"You think I'm good?"
You're good.
What do
Yeah.
you mean? He's yummy. Can you try it?
I'm doing good. How about you? Hold on. Am I a puppeteer? I don't even have to like I can talk like this, but I can also talk like this. Wait, but I can't do it with my mouth closed. But I can also talk like this. But I can also talk like this. Whoa.
You know the puppet? They go,
Oh,
"How are you doing,
yeah.
puppet?" And they go,
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I have an arm.
"You think I'm good?"
You're good.
"What do you mean? He's yummy. Can you try it?"
Well, how did you say mean?
And he just keeps coming up with lies for everything. I mean, at one point they were like driving.
wait.
You're good.
"You think I'm good?"
You're good.
"What do you mean? He's yummy. Can you try it?" And he just keeps coming up with lies for everything. I mean, at one point they were like driving by his HQ for the condiment business. I don't even think it was the real HQ, but he's like, do you see that big building right there? That's the HQ for where I work. And she's like, oh, let me stop by. And I want to see where you work. I want to see the vibes. Cause we're getting married. And of course we like to see where each other works.
Right.
And he's like, well, of course we can stop by, but we can't because my key card only gets me through the floors of my office, not the front door of the building. I have to check in with security so that they can let me in. So he calls his security buddy, Will. And Will is like, I'm not at work right now. And then he's like, well, let me talk to the other security buddy. I don't know what's going on with him. So then he's like, we just can't go.
So elaborate.
Yeah, it's just a lot going on. And
he's really quick on his feet.
Yeah, he's a pathological liar.
But then there's always some sort of excuse, always some sort of something, and it's just a lot. At this point, Reesa is trying to gather just exactly what her reasons were for staying. Part of her wanted to believe him. Another part of her wanted to see what kind of fucking lie is he gonna come up with next.
Yeah.
All she's gotten for months is just disappointment and empty promises. But there were 3 main motivators of what was making her stay. She didn't want to be alone. She didn't want to be embarrassed of this relationship ending. She wanted to get married really badly as well.
Damn.
And before anyone judges her, she just kept saying I thought it was my time. Because she saw everyone around her and they were having their time and they were having these perfect families and these perfect relationships. And she was like, it's my time now, it's my turn.
Damn, bruh.
And even though obviously there's nothing to be ashamed of because it's not her fault
at all,
Reesa still felt like a sense of shame. Because, we live in a society. Yeah. But Legion could sense it. Reesa's becoming distant. He knows things and feelings aren't strong, and he promises her he's going to do whatever it takes to make her feel at ease, and she's slipping away, and that's the last thing he wants. So he asks her, should we get married? Reesa didn't tell anyone about her wedding because she didn't want to get their hopes up, which is so crazy. She internalized all these empty promises so much that in the back of her mind, even going to the courthouse for a few hours feels up in the air. Feels like any excuse can come up at any moment.
Yeah, because it can.
None of Reesa's family and friends knew what was really going on behind the scenes. The 2 main things to note in the marriage paperwork is previous marriages, he wrote 1, and then social security number. And tell me why, when he wrote his social security number, something in Reesa's gut was I need to memorize this. I need to burn it into my brain, his social security number. She's about to find out who this man really is. So that day after they come back from the courthouse, she runs a background check on her husband on their wedding night.
Oh, my goodness.
She believed that she loved him. She believed that he loved her, right? So as long as it comes back clean, she can let go of these anxieties. And it comes back, no criminal background. But then she's running a full check on him. Yeah. So a full check would be previous addresses, where you lived, where you went to school, all of those things, right?
Right.
That takes some time. So they get married early January. She's going to get the results end of January. So for the full month of January, everything's okay.
Okay.
Now, Legion gets his usual phone call from his family that day. And this time, his grandmother had passed away from COVID. It was sudden. Legion is a complete wreck. Reesa would look over, he'd be bawling. Not eating, not doing anything except laying and listening to music. Her heart felt really bad.
Non-existent grandma?
His biggest support system was his grandma. And Reesa is the type of person that takes deaths in the family very seriously.
Yeah, messing around and saying that your family members is dead? Nah, that's a whole different situation. You can't play about shit like that. You don't even want to speak them words out into the universe. You really don't, bro. And I knew that at 14. This nigga is grown as hell. 42 apparently. Yellow?
Hey, JJ, can I borrow you for just 1 second in the garage?
Yeah, I got you. I'm coming. But to casually say, yeah, my family member died and that's why I'm feeling this way, and please view me with sympathy so that I can distract you from the fact that I've been lying this whole time. This is the perfect way to encapsulate everything that I said. I was thinking about it as I was helping my brother-in-law. You don't have to do it. If you feel like you gotta be a different person to attract or to even grab the attention of somebody that you want, you can just be yourself. I promise you. Because you'll act like somebody else, and the image that other person has of you will never be true, because it's not you. It's not. It just isn't. This girl that I was trying to attract, trying to get to like me, wasn't gonna like me. Didn't like me. She ended up liking the other nigga, because that's who she thought I was. I don't know why. Everything clicked after the situation happened. I think it clicked more when I was getting my ass beat, and then it clicked even further when I was beating the shit out of that nigga. And then it fully like solidified when me and him became friends. I won't name drop, but I almost did. You are interesting as your own person. You don't have to be like anybody else. I promise you don't. You have your own story to tell. You have your own lore that someone will find interesting. You ain't gotta be like anybody else except for you. That shit is corny, bro. Like, stop. That's crazy for you to pretend to be a whole different human being when you not only to pretend to be a whole different human being, but to text from a whole different account like that's another person when it's really you. But we not gonna, you feel me? Everybody got their own demons they fighting. I'm just saying, you ain't gotta do that. You don't. Okay? Okay. Tribe, did I give did I give good advice? Say yes in the chat, or Louis, play the video.
Was his grandma, and Reesa is the type of person that takes deaths in the family very seriously.
Facts.
Like, you know how some people aren't that close with
Not
their
facts.
family?
I mean,
like,
I do
Reesa's
too.
so close with her family. Anybody being sick is like, to her. Like, they're her closest people.
Yeah.
So she's trying to help him get through this. 3 weeks later, Legion tells Reesa that his uncle had gone to the hospital for symptoms. He tested positive, but ultimately died from COVID too. At this point, Reesa's feeling a little skeptical because, yeah, like, we're watching the news. Everybody, like, lots of people are dying. But, like, I guess Reesa felt like 2 people so suddenly. It just felt like, like a lot. Yeah, and she does not play about death. And I don't know if it's just the numbers of this, like, but I think it was also just the way it was just weird. She does not play about death. I mean, she assumed nobody would actually lie about it. So she had this gut feeling, but she tried to push it aside. She tried to be there for him. And Legion seemed way too shaken up to be lying about it. He even starts getting super paranoid that he might get COVID. And he turns into a very annoying clean freak. Like, he's going full on hand sanitizer nonstop, constantly washing his hands,
Wearing mask, wearing gloves, not touching anything, not going outside, like putting on gloves before he goes to the gas pump, putting on gloves at the grocery store.
This
So
nigga
she's
might
like,
be
I mean,
insane.
That's a response to what happened to his family members. That makes sense. Now, one night they go out to eat at a burger spot downtown, and out of nowhere he asks her, "Did I ever tell you where my grandmother was buried?" So he takes her to her cemetery. It's just like really weird. And then, like, the gravestone just had their last name, no first names, just their last. And it's just like kind of bizarre. Anyway, Reesa's getting to know a lot about Legion's family. One night, he even gave her a whole tea party on his one and only ex-wife, Tara. The ex-wife had cheated on him. Apparently, Legion got home from work early one day, found Tara in bed with another man. Obviously, Legion's seeing red. The 2 men fight. He ends up kicking the man out and then divorcing Tara. This is all happening in California, right? Now, the 2 kids end up choosing to stay with Legion instead of going with Tara. And Legion files for divorce. Tara's pissed. It's not an easy process for either of them. She's asking for spousal support. There's back and forth on how much she wanted. And then the kids, there's a lot going on. And he's just like a gracious person throughout this whole story.
Right.
But as time passes, things settle down. Tara finally becomes a more amicable person. And they start kind of co-parenting. So even though he's in Georgia, she said that he would be calling the kids every day, helping them with homework questions.
Wait,
That's crazy.
are those kids even real?
And then one day, out of the blue, he's like, Tara's moving to Georgia with her 2 kids. She's like, okay, it's really weird. Like, the whole thing is just really bizarre. But
Just
I
a
mean, what is
tad
she going to
bit.
do about it? Tell her no, right? Reesa
Right.
is a grown woman. She's like, okay, just bizarre. And they get into a few fights. So, okay, there's a lot happening at once. She was still pregnant at this point before the miscarriage.
Okay.
And he had told Tara about the pregnancy. And Reesa was upset because it's like, it's not her business.
Right.
Yeah.
That's just really weird. Like, why are you still talking to her? Is there something going on? Like, I know you're close to the It's just weird.
Yeah.
Just bizarre. And then at one point, Reesa tells him that she also used to have something with a man at her workplace, but that was like a million years ago, and she regrets it. It's going to come back. Now, Reesa's feeling very stressed out. They get into a bunch of fights, and then one day she comes home, and there's an envelope on the table. Reesa, everybody in Reesa's life knows that she's been dreaming of going to London. That's her dream ever since she was a kid. London. So
Why-
she
why-
opens up
what's
the
in London?
envelope, and it's
Manchester?
London itinerary with a hotel in London. It's everything.
Whoa.
I mean, she's going crazy. Legion knows how much this means to her, and she's so excited. He's like, I didn't give you a honeymoon. I didn't give you any of this. So this is going to be our honeymoon. It's going to be in the summer. So she's just jumping, like
Where
practically
is
cannot
London
even
again?
sleep.
Texas?
He got reservations at the Savoy, a 5-star hotel where it's like $800 a night minimum. She's so excited.
Noona, it's actually
The very
Savoy.
next day, Reesa gets the paperwork to renew their passports, and she's looking up the Savoy Hotel, memorizing the itinerary. She's living for this. But then one thing that she notices is missing from the itinerary is the plane tickets. In the end, you guessed it, the plans fall through. Yeah, the plans fall through. And it's just another disappointment. And it was just the same exact feeling when she was looking at houses, when she was looking at cars. But this time it felt incredibly personal. Like this was her dream, and he crushed it.
Yeah, that's so messed
All of
up.
it is her dream. Having a family,
Right.
moving in.
When did she say enough,
Yeah,
bruh?
and the-
So
Or when does a
must be
life really fall
emotionally
apart?
Draining.
Yeah.
Forever damaged.
And the top comment is, I'm tired of him, and he wasn't even my man. And things just start changing. Every day, Reesa would go to work, and she works for the Georgia State Patrol for almost 8 years now. She's not a trooper or law enforcement officer, but she works alongside them all day, and she really likes it. Now, that's a pretty male-dominated field.
Right.
And she's a woman, right? So there's going to be, it's like an interesting balance, but she loves her job, and it's fun. And like, what does that have to do with anything if it's a male-dominated field? It means nothing to women.
really
We're like,
doesn't.
it actually sucks, okay?
It does.
But she's in there doing her job. She loves it, but she doesn't love it that much. Like every day she gets off her shift, she comes home from work at the same time every day. She's not the type to like hee ha ha with these
Dilly-dally
male
with the-
officers.
yeah,
Like she
yeah.
just doesn't care. Like she cares about her job, and that's it.
Yeah.
But every day Legion would call her and be like, who's that voice? Why are you wearing that to work today? You're gonna be home by 5 p.m. right after work, right? And she's like, what is going on? It's almost like he wanted to catch her talking to a guy at work. So he would say things like, it seems like every time I call you, there's a man around.
It's a male-dominated workplace.
Yeah, it's
Nigga.
just weird. And then one day, it's just like something snapped at him. One day, Legion gives Reesa money to get her nails and toes done. But mid-pedicure, she gets a text from him. Someone was just at the house looking for you. Reesa is immediately suspicious. The last time she got involved with anyone was like a year before she even met Legion. So a lot of time has passed, and they're coming to look for me. Like she's trying to rack her brain of who the fork would come look for her.
I smell a
Legion
cat.
tells her a black Dodge Charger backed into the driveway as if they've been here before and are comfortable here. Legion went outside to see what they wanted, and it was a mysterious man saying he's looking for Reesa.
What did a
The
nigga
man
look
ends
like?
up driving off since Legion told him she's not here. And Legion already made up his mind. He's never met any of her exes before, but he is certain this is an ex-boyfriend. So why would he be coming back?
Bro, that's
What?
like gaslighting to the next level.
Yeah.
So Reesa was like thinking,
actually.
who do I know that would come back? Like what? Like no one comes unannounced. Not even Reese's family members. She doesn't have like an open door policy like us, like where family members just like show up. You have to make plans with her to show up, right? So she's like, that doesn't even know. Like that's one thing about me. People don't show up at my house. She's thinking about all the guys that it could have possibly been. And the only one it might be is one guy. But even the odds of that are slim. And he also hates Dodge Chargers. Like the guy's got beef with Dodge Chargers. So she's like, there's no way. Like there's just no way.
Hey, that's
That
a good
doesn't-
beef
so
in my
she's
opinion.
Talking to Legion, like describe
Dodge
what
is
this
hella
man looked
overrated.
like. Legion keeps dodging the question. She's like, well, how tall was he? Shorter than me? Yeah, because you're 6'4". Of course he's shorter than you. So like get more specific. Like how tall is he? Reesa's like, well, was he skinny or muscular? Somewhere in between. Like it's just very at
Vegas
this point,
shit.
Reesa's already
Come
eliminated
on.
like all
Cap.
the people it could be, including
Major cap.
contractors, exes, friends, family. Reesa's like, I'm not doing this right now. This is too much. She goes to her neighbor's house, knocks on the door, asks for their Ring camera.
Oh, let's go.
Not a single Dodge Charger. But like, have you ever heard the phrase, cheaters are always paranoid about being cheated on? So Reesa finds out from her neighbor, no Dodge Charger. Yeah.
He's cheating too?
So he's in the shower one day. Reesa's laying in the bed and she sees his phone light up with a message from Tara, which is the name of his ex-wife, but also the name of his aunt. So she goes and she checks because, you know, that could be 50-50 and it says on. So, okay, fine, or something. I don't know if it was on or something. I don't know. But don't give him too much credit because the next thing she sees are Facebook messengers on his phone, like notifications, the banners coming up. And she opens the app and immediately sees the first unread message, which is, when are you coming to get this panini? She clicks it open and Legion is asking her the same question earlier. When are you going to give me some panini?
Maybe they want to go eat some panini.
Oh, no.
Panini. I love panini. Like the bread. Panera bread. This is just a crazy situation. He is doing all this and he's cheating. I can do this. What the fuck?
And Legion is asking her the same question earlier. When are you going to give me some panini?
Maybe they want to go eat some panini.
Oh, no. No, this is me censoring.
Oh, they say the P word.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, no. I love how you're like,
I mean, Panera's pretty good for paninis.
That's what I,
No, yeah. And the first thing Reesa noticed is how graphic and nasty Legion was actually. Like, he never spoke to her like this. I mean, they kept it pretty vanilla. In fact, recently they stopped being intimate. Yeah, but now it just kind of hurt even more.
Yeah.
That he's just low-key such a freak in the sheets, you know?
But
It's
not with
just,
her.
It was a lot.
Like sending duck pics.
The woman sending nudes back.
And there's 7 different women. He's been messaging all of them as far as 5 months back. Mind you, they've been married like barely 3 months ago at this point.
How long have they?
But the last thing she felt
How
was
long have they been
jealousy or
dating?
insecurity. She felt honestly pretty relieved. Like relieved from the universe. This gave her solid proof that something was weird.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
immediately confronts him. He brushes it off, basically acting like it's not a big deal because nothing actually happened. Like I was just playing around. I was just messaging them.
Right,
he tells her,
right.
I'm just going to
sending
delete
dick
Facebook
pics,
Messenger then.
Duck pics.
Which is like, what? That's not the problem. So she's like, okay, first things first, you're moving into the guest bedroom. Second, we're going to marriage counseling. And third, we're going to put on a united front for my family because my mom is visiting next month. So it was a whole thing. They tried marriage counseling and the marriage counselor ends up being Reesa's pastor. And it takes the pastor minutes to realize like they've got zero intimacy between them. They've got zero affection. Like it was just weird. And the couple is... Okay, let's unpack the cheating. Legion explained what happened and he played it down so hard. Like the more he spoke, the more defensive he's getting. He just wasn't going to keep apologizing for something that he's already apologized for is the vibe. He's like, you're basically going to forgive me or you're not. Which is crazy. Like the audacity of
You shouldn't
that.
be with somebody that's like that, right?
That's
Like,
crazy. Legion also requests that they make a joint bank account. And he just cheated, which is nuts. So she's like, well, I want to know how much money you have. Also because we're married. And like, this is now a unit. Like we're a
nigga
team
broke.
now. And he refuses to
he
show
might
her
not be.
anything about his offshore account. It was just bizarre. And the pastor's wife would end up the session by saying, if you guys came to us premarital counseling, we would have told you, do not get married. I don't think you guys are going to make it 1 year. And the comments read, Pastor and First Lady said, even God can't fix this. Yeah, which is the last thing you want to hear. So at this point, Reesa is feeling stuck. She's got reason to leave Legion, but she doesn't have the guts to do it yet. Because it's, not that simple to leave an abuser. And every time she starts pulling away, his grandma dies, his uncle dies, right? And now he's got this crazy flare up and a knee injury that he claims is from an old football injury. This is like the one that he maybe doesn't lie about because I do think that there was something in his knee that was wrong. But Reesa just said it was too much. Like apparently he had a football injury and now he hit the same knee at work one day and he's in bed. He can't get up for weeks. He's peeing into Powerade bottles. He's not eating anything. He's just sitting and icing his knee for hours. He would make excuses to push off doctor's appointments. It was a lot. She's like caring for him, taking care of him full time. And it was getting frustrating. Like, don't get me wrong. She's very sympathetic. She's a very caring woman. But at the same time,
I would have kicked that nigga in his other knee. The lengths he seems to be willing to go is kind of crazy, bro. Talking on the phone to yourself for who knows how long. Peeing into Powerade bottles. Icing a knee that doesn't need icing. What type of icing was he using? Like vanilla or like... I like the cheesecake frosting icing. That thing is good. You're probably looking at me like, wrong type of icing. No, I think that's the exact right type of icing. cheesecake icing is the best one.
Knee for hours. He would make excuses to push off doctor's appointments. It was a lot. She's like caring for him, taking care of him full time. And it was getting frustrating. Like, don't get me wrong. She's very sympathetic. She's a very caring woman. But at the same time, do something. Like, go to the doctor. Do something. Like, this is not, I can't be doing this. She's got a full-time job on top of that. And he's a liar. He's weird.
Yeah.
All the comments say his knees are inflamed with the lies. A VP with no health insurance. LMAO, someone said a printer fell on his knee because he fucking loves printing shit. Like at Home Depot, he had the printed paper for the London trip, everything he printing.
Yo.
He was holding all his lies in that knee and they were dying to come out. The way I would have pushed down on that knee and asked him what I wanted to know.
Yeah, I would have kicked him on his
Yeah.
other knee. Like,
Legion doesn't
Tell
even
me
have
the
a
truth,
knee. His
nigga.
legs are prosthetics.
That was a comment.
Yeah, because they're like, this guy, you don't
that's a
even.
lie. That's a
Yeah.
lie.
yeah,
He
like,
doesn't even
nah.
have knees, you guys. But for Reesa, you know, she's trying not to be cold-hearted. She's trying to be empathetic, but it's just a lot. And then one day while she's at work, he calls her, bawling his eyes out, and he said that my stepdaughter just died from COVID.
So this is the third one now.
This is the third one. Yeah. And it's a lot. So
What?
he asks Reesa, can you send my ex-wife $2,000 for the funeral? Because she doesn't have that kind of money.
But why is she sending it?
I don't know.
The hell?
So I guess he's like, all my money's tied up in my offshore account. I'll get it to you soon. And because Reesa's very caring, she ends up, yeah, she ends up, I think she ends up sending the money somehow. Now, the comments on that TikTok read, not Legion killing off his whole imaginary family. One thing about Legion, when he's almost caught, somebody gonna die, okay? But that doesn't change the fact that Reesa is still numb to this whole relationship. And at one point, Reesa decides she wants to get a new job because she wants to make more money. And he tells her, you're not going to leave the Georgia State Patrol. You love those men more than you love me. And once
What?
she heard that, once you say something like that to a woman,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm talking the spitefulness kicks in. She was relentless. She's fueled with anger. She starts applying to every job that she can. And
Teesa.
she's competent, skilled, and she gets a job just like that. Literally just like that. So now she goes in to fill in the background check, but not just for herself, but for her husband to fill out his information too. And at first he's like, oh, I don't want to do it. Like, it's kind of useless. What's the point? Are we surprised? He
Right.
finally puts his information down and Reesa sees him type out his social security number. And did you know that the first 3 digits of a social security number is based on the state you were born in? Reesa sees the first 3 numbers he puts in and immediately knows something's not right.
Right.
Yeah, I thought she
Why?
already has his social.
I
She
thought
goes
so
back
too.
to the fucking marriage license.
Is
and
it different?
Sure enough, it's a different social.
What?
She did a background check on the social attached to her marriage license, and now she's like, that's not his real social. Something's come up.
Wait, she married a fake social security number?
I don't know if it's fake or somebody else's.
She married someone else?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna find out in part 2,
That is
but
crazy.
What?
Legion is an ex-football player. This is what she gets from his new social. Legion's an ex-football player, which means there must be some record of him where he used to play. San Diego State, that's where he said he went to school, right?
Right.
But she calls him up, nothing at all. And she confronts him about it, like, did you graduate from this school? Did you play football for this school? And he's like, you know what? I was a private citizen. And she's like, what the f*** is a private citizen?
What?
Okay? The comments are like, on the back of his jersey, it said what? Citizen? What? Like, it's genuinely so crazy. He's like, yeah, it's a private citizen. So my records are private because I'm a private citizen.
What does that mean?
She doesn't even know how to respond. It makes 0 sense. Like, the whole thing doesn't even make any sense. So she runs a full background on the new social. She gets the states he lived in, addresses in each state, names
That don't sound too
associated with
private.
his social, contact information for those names. So first things first, the man has never lived in California. Tara, the ex-wife who he was married, bought a house with, and divorced all in California. Yeah, no, they lived in Georgia.
Who lived in Georgia? Tara?
Yeah.
Oh, so she did marry someone, but it was all in Georgia.
She finds out a few lies about that relationship. Legion never filed for a divorce from Tara. Tara filed the divorce. Legion was served with papers in Atlanta, not in California. Legion filed an affidavit, which is something that you would file if you don't have the money to pay for the divorce fee.
Bankruptcy.
Tara filed the divorce papers with her address, her email, and her phone number. So Reesa calls her and is like, can I speak to Tara? This is Reesa. I'm the wife of Legion. And Tara starts cracking up, which is honestly the last thing you want to hear.
Right.
And her first response is, if you're calling me, then I know it's bad.
Oh.
And all Reesa could do was laugh too, because she's in some deep shit and she knows it. So she's like, Tara, could you give me anything?
Oh
and
my
Tara's
God.
like, I want it to be clear. I want nothing to do with this man. The last thing I want is to get involved in the middle of all of this. He is like a malignant cancer that won't go away.
Damn.
But Tara, being a
Malignant.
girl's girl, is trying to give Reesa the lowdown. I understand that you and Legion communicate. Reesa's asking, because, you know, the kids, he's like, yeah, I talked to my ex-wife. And she's like, what? No, we don't. Let me make this clear. Whatever he tells you, Reesa, is a lie.
Facts.
Well, what was
Factual.
your experience with Legion? Because I can tell you the story he told me. Whatever he tells you is a lie. Let me
Damn.
guess. He told you I cheated on him? He told you I wanted money from him? Yeah, he did. That's a complete lie. Tara tells Reesa the full story, the actual story of how they met, how they ended up. But Reesa asked her, wait, were you guys ever in California? No, that man has never been past the East Coast. So you guys have always been in Georgia. Yeah, we got married in Georgia. We got divorced in Georgia. And before we go any further, how did you get my number? Because I want nothing to do with him. Reesa told her how she found out the information, the background check, and she's just laughing. So, like, they're really girling it out.
Right.
And Reesa's like, just tell me one thing. How bad is it?
Right.
Is bad.
Wait, I'm
Told
sorry,
her
I'm sorry.
How she found out the information, the background check, and she's just laughing. So, like, they're really girling it out.
Having a moment
and
at
Reesa's
all.
like, just tell me one thing. How bad is it? Is bad.
Damn.
If it's like anything like it was for me, it's bad. And then Reesa's like, oh, wait, I remembered something. How's your daughter? And she's like, my daughter's fine. Why? Did he say something about my daughter? Reesa did not have the heart to tell her that he said, your daughter died. Okay?
Like,
Your
come
daughter
on, bro.
died.
You
So
can't
she's
be-
just like, oh, no, it's nothing. And Tara's like, listen, whether you stay with him or not is your choice. He's not going to change.
Who's staying
this
with
is
that?
what he does. You're not the first. You're not going to be the last. Do not blame yourself. We both ignored red flags, but this is on him.
Right.
At this point, the
Factual.
TikTok comments read, if Legion told me the sky was blue, I'd have to look. If he told me my own name, I'd have to check my ID.
Oh, God.
If Legion told me today is Thursday, I would check my calendar.
I'm checking the calendar.
Reesa
I'm
literally
saying no.
said, I'm turning into the FBI, the CIA, and Homeland Security all in one, and she's not playing. She finds Legion's mother's obituary, which is what you write when someone dies, and you can see who she's leaving in memory, right? Leaving behind to cherish her memory.
Yeah.
It's basically a list of living family members that she's connected to.
Yeah.
Legion told her that his mother had
My
4
sis
sons
left
and
an
2 daughters.
obituary.
Why did his mother's obituary only list 3 sons, 0 daughters? That made no sense. They were on his way to his sister's barbecue. Who the fuck's barbecue is that? Who is that? He talks to his 2 sisters all the time on the phone. He talks to his 3 brothers all the time on the phone. How can he only have 2 brothers? And not only that, the obituary mentions the spouses of each child. Legion's name was not attached to Tara, his ex. It was Legion and his wife, Latoya. Who is Latoya?
So he has
Latoya.
more than one ex-wife?
Yes. So Reesa has just opened Pandora's box, and she's about to unravel a show front to back to front. It's not a question of if
Side to
he's lying.
side.
It's now a question of what else is he lying about?
And I think that's only 2% of the lie so far. So
2%?
I'll see you in the next one.
No, but really,
So what episode are you at right now? Do you know?
I think they're all
She got
merging
10
together.
hours. Like,
So, but we have like part 2 is gonna cover it all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's no way. We cannot do another 8-part to like marry my husband, y'all. But what are your thoughts on this? This is crazy. In part 2, the ex actually makes a TikTok, I believe.
what?
Yeah, anyway, it gets really complicated. So that's all I gotta say about it.
Quack quack.
The duck is alive! Ooh, raptor! This video is already long as hell. Okay. Hold on. This is tomorrow. Where did it go? Okay. Reesa Teesa. Is her name really Reesa Teesa? Ain't no way her name is really Reesa Teesa. I like that. I actually really like that. I laugh because that's just a surprising rhyme, like a surprising name. But I do like that. Oh my God. Yo, she's on Good Morning America. Oh, you know the story crazy with Good Morning America. Hey, we might have to watch that after everything, bro. Oh my goodness. Woo. Yeah, you gotta make that sound after you hear some shit like that. You gotta make like a exhaling sound, like, cause damn, the stress poor Reesa Teesa was put through. He really had money, but he just didn't have house and car money. Posing as members of your family, not even posing, talking on the phone for 30 to 40 minutes to nobody every day. That's more than alarming. That's scary. Nigga talking to demons up there. Okay. Enough of me. No, seriously, enough of me. It's your boy Traveler. In case I don't see you, just in case. Good day, good afternoon, good evening. Good night, child. Good night. I just gave you a 32-piece combo and you gonna let me do that? Me personally.
Yeah, it's the end. Leave a like and share it to your friends and your kin. When I post a video, I'm gonna need y'all to attend. Thank you for the view, but I ain't done with you. 2023, I'm about to be Jordan with the flu. Yeah, join the tribe. Yeah, join the tribe. I'm gonna need y'all to subscribe.